Hello and welcome to Mingle 2.0. Today we'd like to show you how to create and use project variables. We will begin by creating a project variable. Creation takes place in three parts: naming the project variable, deciding the project variable data type, and defining the project variable value. In this example, we create a project variable called current release. The data types for all project variables can be a text value, a numeric value, a team member from the project, a date, or a reference to another card in the project. In our example for current release, we select the project variable value to be a card of type release. Once the project variable has been created, the value can be updated at any time. And as the project variable is a constant that can be used across the project, any updates to the value will be reflected immediately wherever it is used. Once we've created project variables, we can begin using them across the project. For example, to use project variables in filters, simply select the project variable as the card's property value, and the view will be updated to reflect the filter. As project variables are simply values we define once and use across the project, we can use project variables in transitions. Let's say we wanted to create a transition which added a story card into scope for the current release. We would start with cards without a value for the property release, and we would move them to a state where their value for the release property was the project variable current release. By selecting the project variable current release instead of an individual release, we avoid having to update the transition later on. Finally, by replacing card property values, project variables can be used in Mingle's charts and tables. Where you would have previously put a card property value, replace this with the appropriate project variable, such as current iteration or current release. And even when the project variables are changing, your charts will remain up to date and will not need individually updating. Now we've seen how to create a project variable and how we can use them in different ways across a Mingle project. Let's look at how they really become powerful. That's when we use a single project variable in many different ways across the project. For example, if we created a project variable such as current iteration or current sprint, this may be used in many different ways on a Mingle project. It may be used in charting in tables for reporting purposes, or it may be used to create different views. We may want to create a breakdown of all tasks for a current iteration, and we could do this by using a filter against current iteration, likewise with a development story wall or a BA story wall. When we want to keep using the same kind of constant, such as current iteration or current sprint, the project variables are really powerful because we use the same value everywhere across the project, but when it comes to updating, we make a single update to the project variable value. In the example with current iteration, at the end of the iteration you simply update the value from iteration 3 to iteration 4, and the changes are reflected across the project. So any charts that may have been created, perhaps on the project overview page, will now reflect the data for the next iteration. Likewise, any favourite views that have been created that use the current iteration will also be updated. So the BA card wall will reflect the status for the new current iteration, as will the development card wall. And the task list that may have been created will now show the tasks for the new iteration. And that concludes our demonstration of project variables. We hope you agree they're a powerful and valuable addition to Mingle 2.0. Goodbye!